been running, hightailing, but I can't run no more.
Yaya, welcome to Bullseye. It's so nice to meet you. So nice to have you on the show.
Hi.
I've heard you describe yourself not as a singer first. So if you're not a singer first, what do you think of yourself as first?
I'm a songwriter and a recording artist, I would say.
Was that always your goal? Did you always imagine yourself on stage, or did you imagine yourself behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes, definitely not on stage. Being on stage is like terrifying, but I mean, I do it. But yeah, I live in the studio. Like, that's where I thrive. That's why I make so many albums. Yeah.
Is being on the stage still terrifying to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I hate it.
How does it feel?
Like being on a roller coaster, you're on a roller coaster, it's like, it's kind of fun, but mostly I think I'm going to die, but like, it's kind of fun.
What keeps you doing it?
I like to make the albums, and I do the shows in service of the album, to promote the album. It helps to meet people. When I play shows, I usually come out and like talk to people when I can. For a lot of the tour, I was able to, and that helps to like put faces to the listeners and like just connect with people. That part is cool. I continue to make the albums. I love making the albums. So the touring comes with that, and it helps support the album.
I would imagine that it's also a chance to connect with a band. I mean, the experience of playing with a band on music that's probably mostly composed piece by piece in the studio is a really different experience of the music.
Yeah, performing the music and recording the music are a completely different process, yeah. I'm fresh off a tour right now, so I'm still like processing what I just experienced. But I guess what I could say now is, yeah, it's definitely two different things, for sure. Two different relationships with the music. The relationship you have with the music when you write it, the relationship you have with the music when you record it are also different, It happens in phases, because even before you record it, it's just a hypothetical thing that could happen that you're writing, and, you don't have to be too precious about it. And then you get in the studio, and then there's a little bit more eyes on it. And then you take it to the stage, and there's like so many eyes on it. It's different, yeah.
When you're writing music, what pieces are there when you have a pen in your hand or you're singing into your voice memos or whatever? Like, are you writing on a piano? Are you writing to a beat somebody emailed you? Are you writing in the studio with a producer? What are the pieces?
It depends. Sometimes it's something someone sent me. Sometimes it's something that I'm making at home, with samples and things, or sometimes it's something I wrote before and then I'm trying to find the right music for it. Or depends. Every song is different.
What do you have sitting around the house? What's sitting on your work desk?
That also depends. At some points in my career, it was a 404, like a SB 404. Sometimes it's just a laptop.
A 404 is like a sampling keyboard?
Like a little sample machine. Sometimes it's just a laptop. Sometimes it's just my phone. It really just depends. Sometimes it's a ukulele. It just depends.
Is it a standard size ukulele? We're talking about a concert? We're talking about a tenor?
Tenor, yeah. I have a tenor and I have a concert, yeah.
I'll tell you, like, I'm a horrible musician and I learned to play the ukulele a little bit as an adult. And I'm grateful to the ukulele for being ridiculous enough that I can play it barely passably and it feels like I'm doing a bit rather than if I were playing a guitar that poorly, I would just be a jerk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I still definitely feel ridiculous holding one.
I love it. I love how small it is. I mean, I'm not going to make an album with the ukulele, but I like it. I think I'm going to continue to do like interludes with the ukulele. It's like my little thing.
Are you like sitting there just working out chord progressions, or
Yeah.
are you ripping sweet solos on the uke?
Just little chord progressions. Yeah. I think I use it, it's like my little interlude thing. I have these little things that I do on albums that are like just little things for me. Like I'm going to rap a little bit on an album. There's always going to be like some kind of like a Caribbean, West Indian sound. Like they're just little things that I'm like adding to like things to expect. Like, even if they're just small interludes or small little things. So I think the uke is like a thing like that.
Waiting for my turns, the blues. But oh, don't you worry, 'cause time's in no hurry. Better find something.
It's just a little comfort thing I have. I like how it feels in my hand. Whatever kind of thing, yeah.
It's very approachable. Like you're never going to get intimidated by a ukulele.
No. Yeah, it's just a little fun thing.
I think when your music goes up tempo, often it's either like towards soca or Caribbean music, or it's towards like dance music.
Pull up to my bumper, baby. Don't be lazy. Put you back in this wine. Baby, come catch this wine. Maybe it won't be easy. Maybe it won't come fast. Maybe it's a little bit spicy.
Did you grow up listening to that kind of music?
Well, yeah. I mean, my family's from Barbados. Well, one side of my family's from Barbados. Yeah, I grew up listening to a lot of soca. My dad was a big reggae head. So, I'm from New York. So I went to like reggae parties, dancehall parties, dollar vans, the whole thing. And then like house music is something that I kind of got into in my teen years. And then, I lived in DC for a long time, and a lot of my friends were DJs. And so I would just hear house music a lot. I work with Zach, exactly, who's from Baltimore. So like he brings in like a club element.
And when you say a club element, you mean some folks don't know there's like a native music genre to Baltimore called Baltimore club music.
Yeah, he kind of brings that in. And, like, again, like living in DC for a while, like I have a lot of friends who are DJs that are like playing jungle, playing house, playing club, so all of those things kind of like influence like the choices I make when I make up-tempo music. I guess I'm just referencing everything in my life that's like real and tangible for me. So it's just, yeah.
Do you think people are surprised that your music isn't more hip-hoppy? That tends to be the North Star for R&B music in the last 25 years or so, I guess. 25, 30 years.
I would say that at some points it's extremely hip-hoppy, and then sometimes it's not. Because, if you listen to a record like Cinderella, that's very hip-hoppy.
And so I stepped out, Fendi bag, Mary J. Fly. I was boho, not this. How could you deny? I was everything, jamming like everything was you. You was supposed to wine and dine me. We was supposed to rendezvous, keeping secrets like a Mason Margiela, keeping tabs on me. You stepping out, it's Ramadan. You breaking fast on me. You telling lies, you breaking right in a pass for me.
I kind of weave in and out of everything that I am, which I think like maybe this is having a negative impact on my career, because I am like trying to embody all of myself, but it's just more fun that way than to like pretend to be like one-dimensional, you know? Because I mean, the thing is, you know, I'm from New York, and then I moved to DC, and like being from New York, just that alone is like I was inspired by hip hop. I was inspired by the R&B that lives at the intersection of hip hop. I was inspired by soca and reggae and house music, and then I moved to DC and like got introduced to go-go and like jazz in a new way, house in a new way, club, jungle, like all of these things are introduced to me. And at this point in my life, I'm pretty well traveled and I've seen a lot, and that's going to show up, you know? But then I think people are like, why do you have, like, my last record, there were so many people or like journalists that were like, this is not cohesive. And I'm just like, you just don't know this walk of life. But if you knew this walk of life, you would know exactly what story I'm trying to tell. I think being Black, period, is very vast because when you look at the diaspora, there's so many ways to be Black, just from a global stance. And then when you take it a little bit more micro and you think about what it means to be Black in America, that is so vast. You know, like I just did a US tour, and like what it means to be Black in the South is not the same thing that it means to be Black in the North. It's not the same thing that it means to be Black in the Midwest. And like we all have this connection to the South, and we took that and through the Great Migration have become many, many things just in this country alone. And like to be Black from the Northeast region of the country, like that is in itself is so vast because there's so many types of Black people that have migrated to this region of the country. So if you know that, then, you know, what I'm doing with my music, it makes sense. You just have to like take into consideration who I am and who I've been saying this whole time that I am and like what that really means. I just think, you know, maybe it's hard for some people to like conceptualize that.
Come on, baby, pass the blood. You know I miss that sticky stuff. You know how I've been on the run from that 50-11 emotions. And the bills don't get paid by themselves. And they never ask me if I'm well, so I'll call you when I get time to. But with all I've been
As a white person, I feel like the record that you have made that is the greatest assertion of your Blackness is I Love You, Frankie Beverly. Because I think white people, in terms of Black music, think of the Blackest music often as being like the bluesiest music or the churchiest music, you know, the gulliest hip hop, whatever, right? And I think that if you looked at Spotify charts and you said, what is the thing that has the greatest proportion of Black people listening to it relative to white people listening to it? Frankie Beverly and Maze would win by 1,000%.
Yeah. I go to Europe and I, you know, every time I play that song, so that, you know, Frankie Beverly is my favorite musician, and you can tell like nobody knows who that is. And that's so strange to me because like growing up, you know, the way that I did, like everybody knows. Like dun 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 oh, oh like, and everybody knows exactly what to do. Like, okay, we're gonna do the electric slide now. Like we all know, what that is and what to do. So yeah, it's strange, but I mean, you know, that's like, you know.
There is this era of music that comes before hip hop was on the radio. Like hip hop existed for sure, but like before hip hop was on the radio, after disco, you know, the end of disco, beginning of disco. And like, whether it is Frankie Beverly or like Tina Marie.
Or like Alicia Myers, I want to thank you, Heavenly Father. Yeah, it's an era, yeah. That's my favorite, like, time. And I feel like growing up in New York, cookouts, that's New York cookout music. Like Alicia Myers and like Stephanie Mills and like, yeah, like Tina Marie and like even like some Phyllis Hyman got some joints that are like in that space, and Frankie Beverly and like some Gap Band joints are like kind of living in that space too. That's my favorite.
Tell me about what a cookout was like when you were a kid.
A lot of music for sure. And like I remember my dad and my uncle were always like drunk and discussing like old times that I wasn't around for and like music. I come from like a family, specifically like my dad and my uncle, they're like music encyclopedias. Like you can call my uncle right now, the most obscure hip hop sample that like nobody's supposed to know what this is, he can tell you what it is. And not only can he tell you what it is, he can tell you what year it came out. And not only can he tell you what year it came out, he can tell you like what was going on in that person's career at that time. My dad, yeah, same. And conversations at cookouts were like stuff like that, or like people being excited when a record they haven't heard in a while comes on, and like it's just vibey, you know, good times, hot dogs, hamburgers, beer.
Is this Brooklyn?
Queens, Long Island, like sometimes Brooklyn too, depending if we was at my auntie's house, you know.
Did your dad rap in front of you? Your dad had a career as a rapper, as Granddaddy IU. His like first record came out, I think, the year you were born or something, right about the year you were born.
Did he rap in front of me? Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like I grew up in the studio with him. Like him rapping, him making beats for other people who were rapping. Like I saw all of that. Yeah.
Was it his job?
Was it his job?
Yeah, I mean, like, did he also?
Oh, like, did he have another job?
Yeah, did he also work at the grocery store, at the advertising agency, or something? Or
no, just that was it. Yeah, he made beats for people. He rapped. By the time I was like aware that he was a rapper, I don't think he was making money anymore from rapping, but he was still making money from producing. And he would like, you know, get a lump sum from like, oh, I did some music for like NBA
2K, yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? Or like, oh, I did a beat for KRS-One, or you know what I mean? So like, he would get checks from that, but I don't think he was like making money as a rapper anymore, but still a producer.
Did you think it was cool?
Yeah, it was cool. He was the coolest.
I mean, he was a cool guy. Like that was part of his public persona was being a cool guy. You know what I mean? Like he wore a suit in his videos and stuff, carried a cane.
Yeah, he was cool. He was cool in real life. He was funny, you know, like, and he rubbed off on people, you know, like if you were around him for a while, you would like pick up some of his slang. You know, you could always tell like who knew him because people talk like him. Like they start saying the things he's saying and like.
What's an example?
I don't know. But, you know, like he was a cool guy. He was for sure.
Did you think that you wanted to go into the music industry? Like, did your dad being in the business make it seem appealing or less appealing?
Appealing just in the fact that I wanted to make music, but the industry definitely seemed scary. But like just, you know, being worried about like people's business practices and things like that. But making the music was always appealing.
I read he thought you should be a songwriter.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't want me to like, but it didn't work out that way, you know?
Do you think that you ended up on stage just because the songs you were writing and the music you were making was too much you to be somebody else's? You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I have a hard time imagining you passing off, something that you've written, even if something with a beat on it already, on like a demo, and being like, yeah, Faith Evans, can you record this one? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I am very like attached to what I'm doing, especially as time goes on. I feel like the more time goes on, the more like personal the records become.
I tried to be real with myself. Sometimes I hit a wall when I can't deal with myself. I found the source of pain, I thought I'd heal it myself. I sparked the J and then that shit revealed to myself. I ain't been real with myself, I ain't been having talks with God, cause what he took away. I miss my dad, I miss my mom, the friends that couldn't stay. Stomach the loss, but it feels blasphemous to say. I'm mad at God, but I still choose to trust him anyway.
You also have a relatively unique career shape in that you've been making music your whole life, but I think it's largely in your 30s that you have been able to fully dedicate your life to making music, like,
Yeah.
Like make your money touring and selling records. Was it something that you always expected to get to, or was it a surprise when it happened?
I always expected it. It was still a surprise, though, too, if that makes sense. Like, it's the only thing I ever wanted to do. Like when I was little, there was like a quick second, me and my dad used to watch basketball together. We used to watch like Cynthia Cooper all the time. And my dad used to be like, man, she's such a good basketball player. And my grandma used to live across the street from this boy who used to play basketball all the time, like religiously. And I used to like copy him. And I thought I wanted to be like in the WNBA. But that lasted like 2 summers. And then that was just ridiculous. Like I was never going to be an athlete. That was a crazy thought. But besides that, like this, I do other things, like I make collages and I have like other things that like I do for fun, I might curate an art show, blah, blah, blah. But like, I mean, and those are things that like I feel happy when I do, I feel passionate about when I do. But ultimately, I want to make an album. Like no matter what else I might do, I always for sure want to make an album, So I guess in that way I wasn't surprised because it's what I'd always been hoping for and wishing for and praying for. And like, even when it was like really, really hard, I could never find it in me to quit on it. So in that way, I guess it's like, well, if I never ever give up, like something's got to work. Then also like when it started to work, I was like, oh my God, at the same time. So, yeah.
I mean, you had grown up in a house where like your dad put out his records when he was like, his major label records when he was like 21 years old or something like that, and had made a career in music for decades afterwards without being a famous person.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't the kind of, he's certainly a respected rapper, but like not the kind of guy that like had a hit record that he could go on package tours when he was in his 40s, like Vanilla Ice does or whatever.
Yeah.
So you had seen that there's a way to like make a life in music that's beyond just having a smash hit when you're 22.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that there were a lot of examples of like, okay, you can be in your 30s and be doing this thing. I think now, like kids that are coming up now have that on many different levels, like Victoria Monet is my age, and like Lucky Days my age, or like Money Long, or like Caroline Polachek, like there are people, there are examples of it now, but it wasn't like that when I was coming up, especially not for women. Women get thrown away a little bit earlier, but I don't think I had a choice. Like I had given so much of my life to it that I had to just see it through. Cause, like life takes prepping, and I had only ever prepped for this. There are days when it's really, really hard still. And it's like, you winning now, girl, so you might as well just see it through.
I mean, you had worked a lot on music with your first husband. So when you got divorced from your first husband, it feels like part of the process of you making your own career in the music industry was being like, oh, I'm single, I'm divorced, and I'm not with him anymore, not making records with him anymore. And I have to figure out 100% what my deal is in the music industry and making records.
I mean, yeah, I had to start all over. But I got to start all over and sound more like myself. I didn't have somebody that was like doubting me and hovering over me, and like I didn't have to like second guess what I was doing. I could just do what I wanted to do. And I started making music from like a much more empowered place because I didn't have that around. And it was harder. But once I got a groove, I was like better, And like Madison Tapes is the album that I made like completely independent of him. And it's the album that you can really hear what I sound like.
We last made love on a Sunday. Carry a sand with me Monday. We never get to work on time. I never get you out my mind. See about me, baby. See about me, babe. Get lost in me, baby. Deep in me, baby. See about me, baby. Cause I've been spending my life on a paycheck. I've been spending my life on a paycheck.
That album started as an EP, right? Just like a you in your house kind of deal.
Yeah, it was supposed to be an EP. I was just trying to get like management and just trying to figure it out. Like, cause I ended up signing to Ninja Tune anyway, but Ninja Tune had reached out before, like Ninja Tune proper, cause I ended up signing to like Big Data, and it didn't work out. Like they just never followed up. And I was like, I'm gonna get that deal again. And so I was like, I'm gonna get this EP and I'm gonna get a manager and I'm gonna figure it out. And then the world shut down. So I was like, well, I might as well just elongate this into an album. And that's how it turned into an album, because I had time to make it an album.
I mean, it's like a lot of things at once, right? Because you're relatively freshly divorced. You're dealing with COVID in the world. You're 30, you're like turning 30. You're making your own music by yourself for almost the first time. That is 17 different things at the same time. And what's amazing about it is that it worked. Like it totally worked out.
Yeah.
Like you did it. You dealt with all those things at once and it came out for the better.
Yeah. Man. That was such a scary time in my life. I was so scared, like every day that I was not going to be able to get through it. Like, cause it was I had to move back home to New York, and I was unemployed, and I was kind of couch surfing, and I was going through a million things, and I couldn't see my way through it. But I just kind of was like, get a job, get a place, make a demo, get a manager. Like that was like every day I would wake up and I was like, this is what I have to do. And I just like did it in that order. Like, okay, get a job, get a place, make a demo, get a manager. And I did those things. And then the world shut down and I had a manager. I remember I had my first face-to-face meeting with them the day it was declared like, okay, this is a global pandemic. And I was working with them just like over FaceTime, and I made the album, and I won a grant, and I used that money to pay for PR for Madison Tapes. and we just worked that album. And then I got a deal. And then from that deal, I already had an EP that I was trying to make an album. So I came to the label with an EP. We put that EP out. Then I worked on Remember Your North Star. We put that out. And then it just kept going, you know.
What was the first one of those songs that you remember making by yourself, for yourself, that you felt like this is it, this is the right thing?
Patterson Plank. And then probably on Remember Your North Star, Street Fighter Blues.
You say you love me so. Why would you let me go? I'm floating in the wind. Seems I can never win. Somebody wrote me a joy. Quick, let me get to the point. Girl, won't you read the room?
One of the first songs on Remember Your North Star that I made, that I was like, okay, I know what this album sounds like. You know, I know what this is supposed to be. And I just kept going in the direction that I could always hear myself going, you know, if I just could get the resources, have the time, yada, 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 you know.
Do you think that having been through the process of the last 5 or 6 years, having been through making music on your own, COVID, your father passing, all these different things, and finding success in so doing, like in passing through all that stuff, finding yourself more successful than ever, has given you any comfort or security? Do you feel like, I have learned that I can do this?
Yeah, and maybe just recently, I think I've been like just trying to survive. That it's been hard to take note when I'm driving because it's just been turbulent. But I didn't even think I was going to make it this far. And I mean, if I want to keep this thing up, I still got a lot further to go. So I'm just trying to be okay, just trying to like keep my head down, make my music, do my thing, try to find some work-life balance, some peace of mind, some joy, and just try to stay consistent, you know.
What's your best life day as opposed to a work day?
Good food, a good show, maybe go for a good walk, get some boba. That's it, really.
Shout out to Boba. Boba's great.
It's so good. It's so good.
I'm so glad Boba stuck around and then came back around.
Yeah, boba is so good. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm so grateful for your time. It's so nice to get to talk to you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.